going on, everyone? Welcome to the Satire Quest podcast. I'm Trevor Hancock.
And I'm Luke Littrell.
That was just so radio broadcast unnatural.
And I'm Luke Littrell. Here's your weather.
And I'm Trevor with the sports. Anyway.
All right, Trevor.
So, welcome to the podcast. We're really excited to start this. We actually recorded another episode and we hated it.
This is actually episode 5.
Yeah.
But we've deleted everything else.
This is actually episode 5, season 3. We just...
Yeah, where have you guys been? Like, we've been here forever, so...
Yeah, so the point of this podcast is... it's called Satire Quest. It's our quest to make fun of as much as we possibly can.
It is absolutely. So anything that cannot be funny or isn't funny, we make it funny.
Exactly. That's the point of this podcast.
All right.
Me and Luke have made fun of things for many, many years.
And each other.
Yeah.
Which we will probably do.
You have dumb hair.
I like you. What? Wait, I forgot. That's not making fun of you.
You don't know how to do that.
Okay, bye.
We have the dumbest inside jokes, and nobody's going to laugh.
All right, let's get this started.
Okay, so we have a laundry list of topics that we want to take over or talk about. So the first one, and it's kind of old news, but it's such an interesting story.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the Fire Festival.
Yes.
And I haven't seen the 2 documentaries, and I really want to. I might do it after this podcast.
I've seen the one on Hulu. I haven't watched the one on Netflix because I honestly thought it would be about the same thing.
Right.
So,
I heard they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's all just talking about the millions of dollars that were spent for nothing and how everybody's so mad. What was the guy's name that...
Oh, man, I can't remember. I've read a lot about it. I know more about what happened.
Right.
I don't know all the details. He was like a rapper, I think. That's the guy that started it. And, let's look it up.
Yeah, actually, the guy that actually had the idea started off with having this credit card company. And he started this credit card company.
Ja Rule, that's his name.
Yeah, so Ja Rule got involved with this guy that started this credit card company, which was a fraud from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So this guy keeps becoming a fraud throughout his whole life. So he scams people into getting a credit card, having this huge debt, and then he just keeps rolling up in all of these lies.
So what you're saying is this festival was doomed from the beginning?
Oh, absolutely. If anybody, and if you watch these documentaries, if anybody were to look up the guy that was behind this, it would have been a total flop. Nobody would have came. But since he got all of these people, Ja Rule and so many people on Instagram, to really buy into this, I think people wanted it to happen. So they believed it.
I remember seeing the lineup, and I was like, this actually looks cool. Like Blink-182 was one of the headlining bands.
Right.
And I saw that, I think they may have tweeted it. They were like, we didn't even leave to go.
Exactly. They tweeted the day of the festival that people were arriving saying, we're sorry, but we're not actually going to be there. Things have come up. We hope everybody has a good time. So I think when people did that, when people saw that, the red flags started to go up.
Oh, yeah.
But at that time, they were at the airport or already arriving. It was too late. They had already paid thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So what they would do at the last second, when things were about to just really get bad, and they were running out of money, he would make bigger things. So if you paid $4,000, you get a tent and you get pretty good amenities, okay? But if you pay $10,000, you get the VIP treatment, and there's only a certain amount. But if you pay $20,000, you get the extra VIP treatment, where you get to hang out with these celebrities and talented people. But if you pay $100,000 per person, you get the extra VIP. None of this stuff makes...
How much more extra could that be?
They went up to $500,000 for one ticket. This was a suite that you would get. It was just out of control.
That's insane.
Yeah.
People pay $400 for a VIP access to their favorite band.
Right.
And that's cool. And in case anyone's never done it, if you actually pay VIP to go to a you literally wait in a line and you shake their hand, take a picture, and you're gone. You don't get to hang out with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just letting you know. So I can't imagine wanting to pay that much money, even if I had that much disposable money
it doesn't
to
make
do
sense.
that.
It doesn't make sense. So I don't know if And it really just talks about, and I'm a millennial and you're a millennial.
Yeah,
And
of course.
and in those documentaries, it talks about how millennials are just so overwhelmed by the thought of, oh, we get to go to this amazing island and meet all these awesome people, hear all this music. It just, and by the way, the island that they claimed that they were going to was owned by the famous Narcos guy.
Oh, what was his name?
That's what I'm looking up. Anyway, but they thought that
I know who you're talking about.
they were going to this island that that he owned, but it wasn't even an island that he owned.
I didn't know about that.
It was an island in the Bahamas, but it wasn't even set up yet. Nothing was there. Nobody was prepared. It got to the point to where they were eating cafeteria food.
I saw pictures of that.
Yes.
So I actually read this one. I don't know if this was in the documentary or not. There was a guy. He was like middle class, like just a regular dude like us. He actually won a ticket to go on the island.
Oh
like
my
I think it
gosh.
was one of the VIP tickets, and he like posted a picture of him smiling, and he said it's so funny seeing all these rich people eating cafeteria food.
Yes.
And he was like, "This is just another day for me,
Oh my
guys."
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they had to like sit in tents and all that. Like that's just insane.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So, and you have all these really high profile Instagram profiles that were promoting this. See, the guy behind all of this was saying, hey, let's get this together. Let's really push this. Here's all of this money that I've gotten from people from selling fake tickets
Oh my gosh.
that these artists are never coming to. He was paying them, and in order to actually put stuff on the island, he was raising the price of the tickets. So it was just crazy.
Here's what I don't get, and I don't know the documentary might answer this, but
Yeah.
I don't get how you can have that mindset and come up with all this and think this is going to turn out well.
Right. It doesn't. Billy McFarland was the guy that's behind all of this, who's being sued right now and is actually in a lot of trouble. So he's
He's
probably
a credit card fraud guy.
credit card fraud. He was the mind
Okay.
behind all of this. So you can actually look him up, and he's just not a good person.
Here's my thing. If I was a terrible person and I had this just stupid idea to do something like this,
Right.
I would try to plan it out more. And I don't know, like an event is just something you can't fake. It either happens or it doesn't.
Well, here's the thing, and they talked about this in the documentary. He planned this out, I think it was 6 months in advance. He said, hey, I got a great idea. Came up to Ja Rule, because he was already in with Ja Rule from this credit card. And he said, hey, I want you to promote that we're having this awesome, awesome music festival on this island that used to be run by drug lords in the middle of the Bahamas. And I want you to promote it and just really get everybody on board. And in 6 months, he said, hey, we're going to have a music festival. Now, some of these music festivals, like Riverbend, for example,
Yeah.
they plan out years in advance. I mean, it takes forever, especially on an island that doesn't have anything.
I do know
prepared.
Bonnaroo, as soon as Bonnaroo, as soon as Bonnaroo 2019 happens,
Yeah.
they're already planning Bonnaroo
Oh,
2020.
absolutely.
So, and it's just stupid to even think, like if you said the word months before an event,
Right.
that already triggers something for me.
Right.
Because I've worked for a couple of events as far as doing social media.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that they started planning it way before they even contacted me.
Right.
So, have you heard about TanaCon? Have you
Uh-uh.
heard about that too? That's another convention that happened. It was before Fire Festival.
Yeah.
So this YouTuber Tana Mojo, I think that's how you say her name. Let me backtrack. There was this convention called VidCon, and it's basically a convention for YouTubers.
Yeah.
And it's planned out. It's really well planned. It's well organized and
Right.
everything. It's a really good event. I would like to go one day. But it has the biggest YouTubers. They come, they talk, they meet fans. That's pretty much what it's for.
Yeah.
So Tana, she's just a spoiled brat, and she's like 20 years old. Like she's just a baby. And she said she gets mad because VidCon doesn't invite her, and she goes, "I'm gonna have my own convention." So
Oh,
she
man.
makes TanaCon. Basically, the same situation as Fire, not as bad as Fire Festival,
Right.
but pretty much none of the YouTubers show up. None of them are there,
Yeah.
and the other problem is she told people it was free.
Oh.
And so you can literally look up pictures. There's people just standing outside. They're getting sunburned. They don't have any water. People are getting rushed to the hospital. It's just mass hysteria. And
Right.
then Tana, she like cries. She's like, I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm like,
Right.
well, no crap. You started planning
Yeah,
this 3 months before you
exactly.
started.
Another funny thing about the Fire Festival is that Billy McFarland had bought hundreds and hundreds of thousands of beer, liquor, any kind of drink that you could think of. So not only did you not have places to stay
Right.
or to sleep or things to eat, but people were just belligerently drunk the whole time. So this is just a disaster just waiting to happen.
So not only are people just suffering, sleeping in tents, eating cafeteria food, but there's people just drunk for no reason.
Millennial camping.
Gosh, well, I think we've talked about that enough. I highly recommend. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Check it
documentaries are
out.
great.
I think I watched the one on Hulu, but they're both on Hulu and Netflix. So really
So-
interesting.
Our next topic is Samsung announced that they're going to have a foldable phone.
Okay.
Something that nobody has asked for since like the early 2000s.
Now, how does this fold?
So it's actually, I was like surprised because I thought it would fold like, you remember the Razr phones?
Yeah, like flip up.
Yeah, like that. No, it actually folds sideways into
Like a
and
book.
And it opens like a book or and it looks like a tablet whenever you open it.
Okay.
So it's got a really cool features. It's a little pricey.
Okay, Trevor, what is this going to set me back if I would like to buy this?
It's going to cost you $1,980.
Okay, so I can't
put a
buy
sound
my
effect
new
there.
drone. I have to buy this phone, right?
Exactly, because in this,
Oh, that's pretty cool, though.
yeah. Here's
Oh,
the,
that's weird how it opens up. So if you obviously you can't see it, it looks like what were those old LG phones that would open up?
that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, the LG phone, and it had the key bar inside.
I think it's called the Envy.
the Envy.
Yeah, that was
the LG by Envy. Or wait,
That was the
Envy
phone.
by LG.
But
So how does that screen fold though?
I don't get how it works.
So
Like, I've
it
seen it
folds open, but then it looks like a regular tablet once it opens.
pretty much. It is pretty thick. That's the other thing that I don't like. I have an iPhone 8. I know you're a Google.
I'm a Google Android guy, so
Yeah, but this is like pretty thin for how
Right.
big it is. The screen is that I feel like it'll set me back like a decade. I'll feel like I'm
Yeah.
in middle school again.
So
with
how does
thick it is?
I'm wondering because I know phones just keep getting bigger, and I know phones used to be getting smaller. I remember
Mm-hmm.
when I was like a junior in high school, somebody came in with a phone that was literally the diameter of I don't know your finger, and it flipped up. Okay. And it literally just went to his mouth all the way to his ear, and all he could do was text and call. But that was the coolest thing. I don't know if you remember that.
I think I might
I don't know,
if
who,
I saw
who
it.
sold it, but I was like, is that really what phones are going to? Now, this was really
Yeah,
before smartphones had come out, and I remember when I first I thought was a smartphone, and I could get to Facebook. It was a BlackBerry.
oh my gosh, I
Okay.
remember when you had that actually.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I had a little scrolly wheel,
Yeah,
and that was actually really fun. But
that thing was an abomination.
yeah, I know. Do they even make Blackberries anymore?
I don't know if they do. Nobody buys them.
Yeah, except the government.
Probably.
So I'm wondering, this looks like after you fold it open after the book, I wonder if you can still make calls on it when it's folded open?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Like, if it didn't function the same way both
So it looks
ways.
like an iPad mini once you fold it all the way open.
Yeah. But here's my thing. It's a cool gimmick, but I don't know how the longevity of this is going to go. Are they going to
Right.
make a Model 2 if this goes well?
Right.
I mean, it seems like people like it.
Here's my concern. Once you open it up, what if one of the parts breaks off or something? You know, that's
That's something I thought of too.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
if you
that's-
like fold it too much?
Hulk smash. Hulk use fold. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This thing just looks more fragile than any other phone, just for that reason. If you fold it too
Right.
much,
Here-
and that's another reason why people don't buy foldable phones anymore because you can just accidentally. Because I remember that was one of my fears with my Envy was folding it open too much,
Right.
and it just breaks.
Here's Samsung. Samsung has a hinge full of interlocking gears. When you have to say Samsung as your third party, but you're talking about yourself. Luke has good.
Me have good phone.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, this is we're looking at a
Okay, this
Verge
is a
article.
different page.
If this was Samsung's,
That would be funny.
because I thought that's what I thought.
Samsung
Gosh.
good.
Me good, me eat good.
Right.
No, this is the Verge. The title is Samsung's foldable phone is the Galaxy Fold, available April 26th, starting at $1,980.
Okay, that's not too far away.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Cool
So
phone.
I would probably check it out. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily purchase it.
Yeah. Another, just for nostalgia's sake. So when I was a kid, I never really looked at the news or like the latest tech. I didn't really have access to the internet until I was like in high school.
What is internet?
What is internet? What is this thing? But I remember, I was on vacation one time, and we like went with some of my parents' friends, and my parents' friends they like met someone else while we were on vacation, and her friend was like, "Yeah, I got the iPhone," and I was like, "The iPhone? What is that?" And she like pulled it out, and I was just like blown away. I felt like a caveman
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at someone coming from the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, "This is the future," and I was like, "This is
yeah.
cool."
I mean, before that, I mean, really, you had the iPhone. Really, I mean, you had your MP3 player, you have your phone, you have calendar, you have apps, which we didn't even know about. I mean, that's something that changed everything. I remember when the iPhone came out. I was a freshman.
You couldn't do anything with
I was a
it.
freshman in college, and it really became accessible, I guess you could say. Because, the first ones were just too expensive, and nobody could purchase one because nobody really wanted to because they were afraid. But I remember my roommate had one. I was like, man, that is so cool.
No,
And then, you know what I did when I saw that?
you bought it.
I went out and bought an Android.
Screw you, Apple.
The Droid came out, the Droid 1, and I went out and purchased it.
I actually had a Droid as my first phone.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah, they're good. I love the operating system.
But then I got an iPhone 5. That was my first iPhone.
And then you said, bye.
And I said, bye, Android. But yeah, let's move on. I'll let Luke take this one
Okay,
away.
so this is something that is near and dear to my heart. I have a 1.5-year-old little girl named Madeline Grace.
Can't relate.
No, you can't. One day.
Maybe.
And one thing that she loves to do is she loves to watch Puppy Dog Pals. Shout out, Puppy Dog Pals.
Is that a TV show?
That's a TV show.
Okay.
It comes on, I think, Disney Channel. Anyway, she loves to watch this. She loves everything about it. Anytime I say puppy, she goes, she loves it because that's what they do, okay?
That's cute.
So it's really got me thinking, man, everything they watch, they're just like a sponge. Everything they see and hear. So I saw the other day that Peppa Pig is a big show for kids, a little bit older kids, 3 to 5 years old. And these kids that are watching Peppa Pig's been out for probably 3 to 5 years now. But Peppa Pig is British, and she talks with an accent, and she's very proper.
I've never watched it.
And
Obviously, I'm a grown man, but
Right?
like I've seen, people make memes out of it.
Right.
And
Your
I
life
know the
changes
premise.
when you have a daughter, especially
Not
daughter.
a son, just a
Not
daughter.
a son. Your life doesn't change when. No, I was kidding. Because you feel protective. But the thing about these shows, they're so interactive, and they want you to respond. Should Peppa go here? And they wait for you to respond.
Oh, it's like Dora. the
Yeah, it's
Explorer.
like that. So that's really what
Piper, no,
a lot of
Smoky.
these shows are doing. And you have to respond. And when you respond, you see these kids responding in British accents and English accents.
Okay.
So these kids have been watching it for so long, they're talking in British accents to their parents.
What?
And it's become a viral epidemic, I guess you could say, because these kids are talking in British accents. Mother, are we going on a holiday this summer?
That is insane.
It's just weird.
So I didn't know about this before. I have all these links pulled up, and I just pulled this up. Looks like we got some actual parents tweeting about this. One says, "My 5-year-old nephew only goes on holiday now, not vacation."
Right, exactly.
He's California born and bred. And it's called the hashtag Peppa effect.
I love it.
Loving the fact that thanks to Peppa Pig, my son says tomatoes. It's so dang cute. And I guess I'm not going to play it, but she's got a video that's adorable. The most entertaining aspect of my life right now is that my toddler has been watching Peppa Pig and now speaks with a British accent. So it is a problem.
This is a problem.
Has Madeline changed her accent at all?
If you consider meowing and barking, then yes.
Meow. Bark.
Bork.
That's adorable.
It's pretty. Actually, the picture you've got pulled up right there is Peppa Pig's mother.
Okay.
You can tell by the eyelashes. The
That's
father
the
doesn't. The father does not have eyelashes. I guess men don't have eyelashes. Peppa Pig is actually a girl. She doesn't have eyelashes. So
is she transgender?
I don't think so. She just hasn't become a full-aged woman. So when you become full-aged women,
then you get eyelashes.
You get eyelashes, and you stop chasing butterflies like she's doing in this picture.
That's so cute.
And you don't wear rain boots anymore when it's not raining.
Does she always wear rain boots?
Apparently.
Okay. That's what I would like. Cartoons, like their wardrobe and just the way they're drawn, has always been so interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, one, they wear the same thing every day, but two, like especially in kids' cartoons like Peppa, there's only like two ways to tell if someone's a male or female.
Exactly.
Well, I guess the other way is their voice.
The father always wears a suit and tie. It's like, where are you going? I have to go to work now. Like, where do you work? That you have to wear a suit every day.
Do you remember the kids'
factory? You work at a factory?
That's like such a 1950. That sounds like a 1950. Oh, hey, kids, just came home from the factory job.
Yeah. Had a hard day at the factory. It's like, what do you change clothes once you get there? Or like, what do you do?
And then the wife runs around with him with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Get back here.
Yeah. Hit you in the head with a frying pan.
Oh, do you remember the Amanda Show?
That's what I said.
And now it's time for a hillbilly moment. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Frying pan.
Frying pan who?
I'm going to hit you in the head with a frying pan. Wait.
Yeah, so
God, that was good.
retarded.
We just did that entire bit.
We did. This is being a hillbilly moment. Anyway, what's next on our list?
So, this one is pretty recent. I mean, I don't know when we're going to upload this, so the time frame's going to be completely off.
This is recent right now.
Yeah, as of right now, I was recording this. This is recent. So, this could be true. This could not be true. But apparently, Chris Hemsworth, who, keep in mind, is Australian.
Right.
And this is the guy that's played Thor and many other characters I can't think of right now.
Right, yeah.
But he's going to play as Hulk Hogan, the famous wrestler, in a biopic.
Okay.
So he's going to go from this to, hey, how's it going, brother?
Oh my gosh, Hulk Hogan just walked in the room.
Hey, how's it going, brothers?
Hey, Hulk.
It's me, Hulk Hogan. So
that's a famous bit that Trevor does.
Yeah, I love doing a Hulk Hogan. It hurts my voice if I do it for too long, but it's so fun.
I got on I think it was your Instagram or something. Mm-hmm. And it was just you sitting at your computer, just, hey brother, how you doing?
So I think the one that you're talking about. So I'm coming out with the video. I'm not going to talk about what I'm doing with it.
Right.
But basically, Hulk Hogan sings A Whole New World from Aladdin. So
oh
he's
gosh.
like, a whole new world. I can't sing, but I can sing as Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Maybe that should be something you come out with. Hulk Hogan albums.
Hulk, I think he used to do music, if I'm not mistaken. But
probably not, but I don't know.
Another impression I realized I could do recently was Kermit the Frog.
Okay.
Hi everybody, it's Kermit the Frog here. And has anybody seen Miss Piggy?
Wow. That's really good.
Thanks, man. Can you do any impressions? I know you can do some impressions.
Not at this moment. Next, let's go to the next.
Okay.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you.
That was Ariana Grande.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this before we started, but I can't contribute to this, I'm sorry, Luke, but just go ahead and talk about it.
So shout out to all my Bachelor friends out there and fans.
Shout out to all the single men.
Yeah. So if you're not aware, The Bachelor season 23 is out, which is kind of mind-blowing.
How is it lasting? Why do people continue to watch this?
I think it's season 23. Let me look real quick. Okay.
By the way, we didn't even talk about Chris Hemsworth as Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
It's okay though. We could. I mean, there's not much to say other than look, he's gonna play this role.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
I think it'd be funny.
Is this like a B-roll movie or something? It's like, does it sound...
You said a B-roll movie?
Or whatever it's called.
B-roll's like the random shots in movies, like for landscape. You meant B-movie.
B-movie.
Not the animated movie.
The B-movie with Seinfeld.
We're gonna make a movie. It's B-movie. This is what I picture Jerry Seinfeld. He's in the board meeting with like the DreamWorks people, and he's like, "All right, I got a pitch. It's a movie. It's kind of like you know how they make B movies. Well, what if it was called B movie, but they're B?"
Whatever you want, Jerry. We'll sign you.
Please stop talking like that.
Have you ever watched his show on Netflix, Comedians in Cars?
Dude, I love that show.
I do too. It's a great show.
It's such a funny concept. I love the way he starts it off. He's like, "Here's this car that you probably don't care about,
Yeah.
but it's cool." And then he just goes straight into, "Here's my guest."
Yeah. And usually the car breaks down. Have you noticed that?
I've only seen a few episodes. They were all really good.
They were really good.
He got pulled over when he was Chris Rock.
Right.
With Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And the cop was like, "You're Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock." Cool.
They're like, "No, we're not." He's like, "Yeah, you are." Like, oh, yeah.
He like let him go. He was cool with it.
Anyway, so we were talking about The Bachelor.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my wife, Blair. Hey, Blair. How you doing?
I like Blair.
I do too. I love her.
Cool girl.
Anyway, Blair loves to watch The Bachelor. She's loved The Bachelor ever since I've known her. And if you're unfamiliar with The Bachelor, if you've lived under a rock like Trevor has for the past 23 years.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
that means it's been going on.
Let's see.
23 years? There's
23
no way.
seasons, my bad.
I was about to say, there's no way they come out with a season every year.
You would think 23 seasons, one every year, right?
Yeah.
But they don't. I don't know. I don't know why they do this.
I mean, any TV show.
They do a Bachelor and Bachelorette. So right now, we're in The Bachelor. There's 25 women that are going after one man, okay?
I know the premise, and I hate it, and that's
and
why I don't watch it.
if you get all of these women that are really giving everything they've got to this man, it is just hilarious. And I've gotten so sucked into this show. Blair will probably go to bed around 8:30 or 9, and I'm a night owl. And I love watching this. After she goes to bed, I finish the episode because I'm so intrigued about how crazy these women are. Okay, so we're a week before these girls take him to their families to see if they approve. That's the week we're in, and so we're getting right before the finals.
Now, you said it like it's a basketball movie.
That's what they really kind of
make it to the finals.
All right, we got to make it to the finals. We got to marry this guy. So this girl named Heather, who is, I think she's like 22. They say 22 Heather, and they give an interesting fact. Heather's interesting fact is never been kissed. Okay.
Oh my god.
Which I don't know if you would believe it or not.
I don't.
Well,
all reality TV
the whole
is
thing, the
fixed.
whole premise around this guy Colton is that he's a virgin. Okay, he's a famous football player, and he was a virgin. Okay,
saving sex for marriage.
Right, that was his whole premise, and so that's how he got on. Okay, so they thought, okay, well, she's never been kissed. Let's put her on there. So she gets close to the finals. He kisses her. Fireworks are flying in the air. It's great. So we get down to this episode. And all of these girls are literally fighting for their life to win this guy. Heather, who's never been kissed, they changed the title, has been kissed. Okay.
I want that. I want like two pictures side by side.
Yeah, before and after. Okay, sweet girl.
Part 1, part 2.
Sweet girl. She gets up there. They're in Colorado, his hometown. So there's 4 girls on this date. Only 2 will be going to see his parents. Okay, it's super, super dramatic. They get to this train station. It's beautiful. There's mountains in the background. Blah blah blah. Anyway, long story short, Heather comes up to him. Hey Colton, can I talk to you?
Oh no.
And he's like, yeah, what's going on? And dramatic music in the background. Dun dun dun. I just feel like I'm not ready for you to meet my parents. And he's like, what? I'm just not ready. I don't think I'm ready. I'm like, well, no, duh, you're not ready. You've only been kissed once.
Oh my gosh.
So
You signed up for this.
the whole
This is
thing,
the reason you're on the show.
right? You're on here to find love. That's the whole thing, to be married. At the end, the train pulls up. He goes, "You should probably go." So she said,
You gotta be kidding
"All
me.
right." So she gets her bags, gets on the train. Now you'd think he would probably kiss her on the cheek and just say bye. She gets on the back of the train so you can see her. She's hanging over the side, and she's waving to him. Okay, and there's it's beautiful scenery in the background. They pan to Colton. He just waves like a little dead fish in his hand. He's like, and then they do an interview. I think I've made a mistake. It's like, dude, no, you didn't. You're fine.
Yeah, this was all her. This is why I don't buy this. These girls, these are some of the hottest girls in the world
Yeah.
that sign up for this.
Right.
And you want to tell me she's never been kissed?
They have to have an interesting fact. They have to be TV worthy, I guess you could say.
If the most interesting fact about you is that you've never been kissed, you probably shouldn't be looking for love on a TV show.
It's just crazy.
But this is the reason why I don't buy that scenario. So, I mean, I've never worked in TV, but I know a little bit about the process.
Yeah.
These girls, they all sign contracts.
Oh, yeah.
And every girl in America, most girls in America love this show. So they know what happens.
Right.
I don't know every detail, but I know they go on dates, they meet the parents, they go to dinner and everything.
Right.
So they get to know each other, both on screen and off screen.
Right.
So she knew what she was getting herself into.
Right.
So she signs this contract. Okay, you're gonna go on a date with this guy. You're gonna tell him everything about you, and you're probably gonna kiss him. You're probably gonna get chocolates and free food.
Right.
And he's also gonna meet your parents. Probably, I think that's the final four.
Yeah,
maybe.
the final four get to meet the parents.
Oh wow, I was right.
And then after the final four, he chooses two after the parents.
Okay.
And then after those two, I won't go into detail, but it kind of gets PG-13 after that.
Oh my gosh.
If you would say. And then after that, he decides who he wants to marry. And so he proposes to one and puts the other one on a train, and they go home like Heather went.
What's this magical train? I imagine it's just
well,
like...
I say train. It was in this episode, which was
Why are they
just
taking trains?
So dramatic, man. I mean, it was just like...
Is this filmed in the 1800s?
I don't know. It was just... It was so dramatic, and it was so silly. I literally was laughing out loud, trying not to wake up my wife and daughter watching The Bachelor.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so intrigued and invested. Okay, what's next?
Well, I was going to tell one more story about my Bachelor experience.
Okay.
So I actually dated this girl a few years ago, well, many years ago at this point, and she loved The Bachelor, and I made fun of it every time she watched it. But there was one thing that this guy did. I think it was The Bachelorette, and so as you know, like the guys this time, they have to woo them. They have to figure out ways to get this guy pulls out his wallet and he goes, "I've never told anyone this before," but and he's like crying. I'm like, dude, it's a wallet. And then he goes, "I have a picture of my grandfather," and I'm like, dude, why is this so?
Why is that sad?
Like
Was
you
he
have
dead?
it in your yeah, I guess so. But you have this in your wallet. That would be so funny if he wasn't dead. He's like, I just never get to see him. I keep a picture of him in my wallet. But anyway, so I just bust out laughing, and I remember she was like, "Trevor, stop!" And then I pulled out my wallet and I go, "I've never told you this before, but I have $5." So,
oh man.
I hate that show.
It's well, I remember I got sucked into YouTube one day, and I was watching bloopers of Bachelor and Bachelorette, and there was one, and it was talking about, there's 25 girls the first night, and so he has to choose 20 out of those 25. I think this is one night where they stay up all night long and they talk and they try to get to know each other. He has to choose 20 of those girls, and he has to know them by name, first and last name. Now think about how hard that would be. Now I think this was probably like the first or second season before they put earpieces in their ear to tell him which girls that he should choose or how much he likes. So certain things.
There's earpieces?
There has to be, because there's no way that you can meet 25 people and out of those 25 say, okay, these 20 I want to choose by name. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but he he gets down to the last two girls.
I love you, Jennifer. It's Ashley.
Almost.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh no, not he gets down. It's the first night, and there's the last rose, and so Chris, what is his last name? Anyway, Chris comes out. He's the host. Ladies, this is the final rose of the night. It's so super dramatic, And he goes, Kayla S.
S.
He just says Kayla S. Kayla goes, oh my God, I didn't think you'd ever ask me. So she comes walking out. He's like, will you accept this rose? She's like, yeah. He goes, okay, thanks. And then he goes, hey, Chris, can I talk to you for a second? He's like, yeah, what's up? And, the girls are like, what? What's happening? So he goes, I called out the wrong girl's name. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I meant to say Katie S., not Kayla S. He's like, all right, we can fix this. They're like,
oh my
they're
gosh.
super, into it. He goes back, he goes, ladies,
I made a mistake.
he goes, I have something to tell you. And they're like, oh my God, oh, what? Yeah. They're like, oh my God, I'm not going to be famous, So he goes, I actually called Kayla's name. I meant to say Katie. Kayla, you can stay on if you still want to be here, but Kayla, do you want to come too? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, that's cringe.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I love those cringe moments.
Oh, man. Embrace the cringe.
Embrace it.
Is what I was talking about earlier.
So I just thought of this. I've actually met a reality star before.
Who?
I can't remember his name, but he used to
Must
go to...
be really famous.
Famous around here. He,
oh, short guy.
Yeah. You know
I've met him.
Yeah. Okay.
Big Brother?
No. He was on a show called, like, My Tall Life or something.
Oh, must not be
okay,
the
so
same guy.
This couple used to go to my church. He's like average height.
Yeah.
And his wife was like over 6 feet tall.
Really?
Like maybe even 7 feet tall. And
I'm talking about Leslie Jordan.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, well he.
Yeah, definitely not him.
Okay,
so,
he's a famous guy that he's a actor from Chattanooga. Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway,
shout out Leslie.
So he used to go to my church. I don't think he doesn't go there anymore. But they had it. There was a TV show called like My Tall Life or something like that, and they basically documented just females that were just super tall.
Yeah.
And they like showed like the challenges and everything
Right.
that they go through. Really weird show. So anyway, they were interesting because they were like the cleanest on the show.
Yeah.
Like they didn't do drugs and alcohol.
Right.
They were like the good Christian people.
Right.
But anyway, I said all that to say I met him on a film set, and he was just like really. He was like. The film, it was for my church. I keep stumbling over everything.
It's all right.
So he was like acting in it, and I like jokingly just because it's a church event, and I was like, "Dude, can I have your autograph?" And I didn't know he was on the show. He was like, "Wait, are you serious?" And I was like, and I felt like bad because I was like gonna tell him no. And I was like, "Not really."
Actually, no.
And he was like, "Oh, well." He goes, "I wouldn't have been surprised." He goes, "Sorry." He's like, "No offense." He's like, "I get asked because I've been on TV before." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And so anyway, we got to talking about the show, and I was like, "Can I ask you something?" And he was like, "Yeah." How fake is reality? He goes, "Super fake."
Yeah.
He was like, he's like, "I've turned down so many things that they told us to do on the show just because it was fake."
Yeah.
He was like, they would give us lines and all this other stuff. He
All
goes,
about the money.
yeah, he was like, a lot of it is real, but he said for the majority, he was like, yeah, it's. He
Right.
said so much of it was fake.
Yeah.
Like he told me the one thing he said no to. I remember this. They like asked to film his wife showering, and he's like, "No, I'm not okay with that at all."
No.
So
Not at all.
So yeah, be careful next time you watch reality TV. I know a lot of people are kind of woke to that, but
I am.
it's just not.
And I'm not trying to be.
I mean, if you want to submerge yourself in the world of reality TV and just pretend it's real, it's fun.
Why I like it because it's so funny and fake. Because I know it's fake. You know, it just doesn't make sense why somebody would. I've never been kissed, but I want to go on the show and find my husband. And actually, no, I don't. I just want publicity.
Oh my god.
And it's funny, you'll see these girls that have been on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, or whatever. You know, you go to their Instagram, 15,000 people had followed them in 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about getting the money and publicity, blah, blah, blah.
That's what also like baffles me. Like I can't believe the extent people do to get followers.
Oh, yeah.
And here's my thing. If you're a regular person and you are just you were like, I just want to be famous. I just want followers. That's such a dumb goal.
Right.
Because it's so meaningless. Like,
Yeah.
if you're famous, then you're just famous. It's going to go
Right.
away. Like, that's a whole other topic for another
Absolutely.
day.
Which bring us to our next topic: celebrities and people coming to their houses.
Yeah, I've read so many of these stories over the past
Right.
even few years, and
They've
I think it's
become
gotten
really
worse.
popular. Yeah.
So everyone loves a good weird stalker story, just because, you know, I feel like most people are not stalkers. So whenever they hear a story like that,
Right.
it's like, wow, I gotta see what happened.
It's
here.
like a train wreck.
Yeah,
You
everybody
can't
wants to
look
watch
away, but you have to watch.
it. Yeah, but the first thing that came to my mind whenever we were talking about this before we started recording,
Oh, why are we recording right now?
yeah, right now,
Oh.
didn't even realize it.
That we were just talking in your basement.
You didn't want to just hang out, Trevor.
Oh.
But
Triggered.
this guy swam to Taylor Swift's beach house to meet her, and she wasn't even there. But
Did he like hang out until she got there?
I don't know. He just got in, and the police arrived. Like, I think the people that were looking over the house were like, "What you doing here?"
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
And I have the story pulled up. Let me read it. So it was a 22-year-old man from the Chicago area, and he admitted to swimming up to Taylor Swift's beach house at 2 a.m.
God.
So here's my thing.
I love the
It's
picture.
yeah,
Too.
you can't see it, but it's a picture of Taylor Swift just going. She just looks like she's going.
So surprised that somebody would do that
How dare you swim it to my house?
to my $5 billion mansion.
This is why this story fascinates me. One, it's 2 a.m. I mean, have you ever been like, whenever you would go on vacation to Florida,
right.
did you ever like walk on the beach?
Oh yeah.
Did the thought of did the thought of swimming out there scare you? Just because
absolutely.
how scary is that to be on the ocean, like, and it's pitch black and you can't even see
Right.
your body, like whenever it's just submersed in water.
Exactly. Yeah, I would
So
not do it.
okay, one, it's 2 a.m. and two, this guy swam.
That's a long.
If you're not a
way.
professional swimmer,
Did it tell how far he swam?
I wish it did. I'm sure it did in another article. But if you're not a professional swimmer, dude, if you're just an average Joe, you're gonna get tired of swimming you're not even gonna swim a mile before you get tired.
Right. I mean, even a mile.
Yeah.
You got to think about current and wind and
Like, this guy's fighting the ocean to meet Taylor Swift.
all in the name of Taylor Swift.
And this was in 2013. But there have been so many other stories that I've heard. And I know you told me about one.
Oh yeah. There's this YouTuber.
Come on, Luke, get with it.
Who was the YouTuber? Do you have the story?
James Charles.
James Charles. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I wasn't very familiar with him, but famous YouTuber. I'm not into what he promotes, but he's a famous YouTuber that's gotten really popular over the past couple of years.
He's a makeup artist.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Do you watch his channel?
I don't watch makeup channel. I'm not discriminating. Like, we're not talking about
Right.
any of that.
Anyway, he built a house. Okay. His whole thing around his social media outlets, I guess you could say,
yeah.
is that he wants to hang out with people. Like, become part of my family, man. You know, it's like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But he doesn't want to talk to you if you see him on the street. He doesn't want to say hi. He doesn't want to do anything with you. He wants to be very introverted, but he's a different person on YouTube and Facebook. And
Right, and that's the
Twitter.
thing. But here's my thing. Wait, did he really say that? He doesn't want to talk to you?
It seems that way. So the story is that somebody came up to his house,
Uh-huh.
knocked on the door, wanted him to sign autographs. Apparently, this has been happening a lot since people knew where he was building a house. Because he told on his social media, hey, I'm building my house over here. It's like, okay, well, don't tell people you're building your house if you don't want them to know.
Wow. Well, I mean, my argument with that is, I'm sure he's very friendly whenever people approach him, but your house is like one of the only places celebrities can be,
Right.
just separated from they can be like, okay, I can do whatever I want here without being bothered. Most of them live in gated communities.
Right.
So, I mean, I wouldn't want that. Even if I was famous, I mean,
all in the name of being a celebrity.
Exactly.
So if you don't want to be a celebrity, don't make a podcast like this.
Yeah, we're blowing up as soon as we upload this, man.
So if we get 500,000 likes,
smash that like button. I hate that. God. But,
make sure you subscribe and push the bell icon so you can get notified when we actually put a podcast up. We actually may not even put this one up either. So
yeah, we may not even like what we say in this one. So another YouTuber that I just thought of was Boogie. Have you heard of Boogie2988?
Nope.
So basically, his channel, he talks about gaming and his life. Those are the two subjects.
Yeah.
But but one of the things that makes him stand out is, one, he's got a cool personality, and he's just he's a big dude. Like I think he weighed over 600 pounds, like last year. But he got gastric bypass surgery, and he's much thinner now. He's doing really well. But anyway, I've heard him talk about people coming up to his house.
Yeah.
And he said whenever he first started making YouTube videos and people were started following him, he said no one ever visited him. He said he was just a fat guy nobody wanted to talk to.
Right.
Kind of. I mean, he had friends, but no one ever visited him.
Yeah.
So he gets a doorbell ring, and he's scared immediately. He's like, "Who is this?" So he opens the door.
It's a boogeyman.
Boogeyman. I'm Boogie2988, and you're the boogeyman. And
hey, boogeyman. Hey, boogeyman. You want to go boogieing? Yeah, let's go boogie.
Let's go with my boogie board.
One more.
I don't. Is there any? I got a boogie in my nose. I think that's all the boogie words. So I hate you, man.
Booger.
So the guy Boogie opens the door, and you like his name, don't you? His real name's Steven. I'll just call him Steven so you'll stop laughing.
I just imagine this huge booger just opening the door.
Wait, Boogie's opening the door, or he opens the door to find a boogie?
Exactly. No, he opens the door.
It's a floating booger.
And it's this huge, massive. You said he was a large person, right?
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Just in a green suit with slime on him.
And he's just floating in the air. I'm a booger. Boogie.
Yeah, I'm a boogie.
So anyway, Boogie opens the door. God. Steven opens the door, and this guy's like, "Hey, man, I've been following you ever since you started, man. I love everything you made. I just want to be friends." He was like, "I just really want to be friends with you." And he didn't know how to respond. He was like, "Dude," he was like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but get off my lawn." And
right.
He was like, "But dude, can I come in? I just want to be friends with you." And he goes, "No, dude, if you want to be friends with me, send an email. Do anything else but come to my house."
Yeah.
And he said ever since that day, it's freaked him out about people coming over. And he made a video of him putting up because he loves Halloween. He put up Halloween decorations, and people saw that, and they were like, "I know where that house is." And people doxed him. And you know what that means?
Yeah.
Dox. Yeah. Basically, people found out where he lived.
Right.
And I just can't, I don't know why people are so infatuated, with seeing a celebrity and being like, "I gotta find out where they live." I enjoy celebrity, people. I love movies and I love just watching YouTubers, but I've never once been like, "I gotta know where they live so I can find them."
Right.
And that's what freaks me out if I were to ever become famous.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
How would you feel?
Hey,
if
wait, somebody's at your door.
Oh God, let me go see.
It's our favorite fan. It's the Boogie. Hey, Mr. Boogie.
Hello? I don't know why I actually got up.
That was good.
That was a good bit.
Yeah.
You didn't even see it.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, I had fun.
I did too.
Let's never do this again.
Let's do it again in 5 seconds.
Okay. Welcome to the Satire Quest podcast, everyone. I'm Trevor Hancock.
This is on a loop.
It's a 2-hour-long vine. I don't know how long we've been recording.
How long is this? If you've gotten this far, thank you. We'd ask you to subscribe to whatever we're on.
Follow us. Hit that bell button.
Hit that bell button so you can get notified.
Yeah, boy. We're going to try to do this more. But yeah, if you guys ever have any topics you'd like us to cover, please let us know in the comments or just shoot us a message.
Or you can follow me on Twitter at Taco Bell. And what's your Twitter name?
I think Burger King.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So at
No,
Taco
I want to be
Bell,
Wendy's.
You would be Wendy's.
Wendy's just, have you seen them roast people?
Yes, that's another topic.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
We're gonna go
so
ahead and
this is Taco Bell and Wendy's signing out.
Bye.